It is 30 minutes past 8 on a Tuesday night, and the wind on the rooftop cuts through my designer blazer like a knife made of January air. Below me, Manhattan spreads out in a glittering grid, yellow cabs threading through streets, office towers blazing with late-night ambition. I'm holding a glass of vintage Cabernet, watching it ripple as my hand trembles slightly in the cold. This party is mine. All mine. 50 guests from the financial elite, celebrating my secret promotion to VP at Carmichael & Associates. At 30 years old, I've just secured a position most people spend 2 decades clawing toward. The firm manages $3.7 billion in assets, and now I'm one of 5 people with signing authority. I should feel triumphant. Instead, I feel hollow. 2 weeks ago, I invited my parents and my sister Madison to celebrate my 30th birthday at a pizza place in Brooklyn. Not fancy, I wanted it casual, comfortable, family. They flaked. Madison needed healing time in Aspen after getting fired from her 3rd marketing job in 2 years. Mom said, and I can still hear her voice perfectly, "We need to support your sister right now, Natasha. You're independent. You don't need us." So I rented this rooftop to prove she was right. To celebrate alone, surrounded by colleagues who respect my work but don't really know me. The irony tastes more bitter than the wine. The elevator chimes. 4 men step out wearing suits, not the kind you see at parties like this. These are off-the-rack, functional, designed to blend in anywhere while screaming federal agent to anyone paying attention. They move through the crowd with military precision, and I watch their trajectory with growing dread because I can see exactly where they're headed. Toward me. Natasha Hill. It's not a question. The lead agent flashes a badge. "You're being detained under the Espionage Act. We detected a physical breach at your Hill industrial facility. Communications suggest you sold access protocols to a third party." The world tilts. Espionage Act. Those words don't belong in my life. I invest in industrial real estate. I flip warehouses. I run a quiet side business managing server farms for defense contractors. Everything is legal. Licensed. Compartmentalized. I didn't sell anything, I managed to say. "You'll have an opportunity to explain that," Agent Miller says. "Right now, you're coming with us." My colleagues are staring. James Carmichael looks horrified. The clients I've spent months courting are pulling out their phones. My career is dying in real time. They escort me to the service elevator. No handcuffs, that's something. But the message is clear. I'm not under arrest, but I'm absolutely not free. The alley behind the building smells like garbage and rain. Parked between 2 dumpsters is a vehicle that looks like a black armored truck mated with a mobile command center. SCAF, Sensitive Compartmented Information Facility. A portable room designed to prevent any signal from getting in or out. Inside, Miller places a tablet on the table between us. I can see surveillance feeds of a building I recognize with a sick jolt. The gray box. My warehouse. At 2020 Eastern Standard Time, we detected an unauthorized breach, Miller continues. This facility houses server infrastructure for multiple Department of Defense subcontractors. He slides the tablet toward me. On the screen, 2 figures in hoodies use bolt cutters on a heavy-duty padlock. The timestamp reads 20:40 and 15 seconds Eastern Standard Time. "That's happening right now," I whisper. "And earlier today, we intercepted communications suggesting you facilitated this breach. Who did you sell access to?" "I didn't sell access to anyone." My phone vibrates. Miller glances at it. "Check it." There's a text from Madison, sent at 8:20 p.m., money received. "Just sold your rusty old storage unit to QuickFlip. $350,000 cash wired. They wanted it tonight. Don't worry, I put the money in the family trust for my startup." "You're welcome." I can't breathe. Can't think. Then I look up at Miller, and something cold settles in my chest. "I didn't sell state secrets," I say slowly. "My idiot sister just sold the building to a predatory wholesaler for the price of a used Ferrari." Miller reads the text. His expression doesn't change, but I see the subtle shift. I'm no longer the primary suspect. I'm a victim. Explain the asset, he says. I take a breath. 6 years ago, I bought that property for $800,000. To my sister, who visited once, it looks like an abandoned warehouse. But it's a gray box, a secure server facility for defense contractors. No windows because windows are security liabilities. No signage because the whole point is operational security. And quick flip? They think it's a private crypto mining facility. They see industrial cooling towers in satellite photos and assume it's millions in equipment, abandoned, waiting to be salvaged. They don't know that cutting that lock triggered a federal alarm. Understanding crosses Miller's face. They're trying to loot what they think is private property. Exactly. We have a tactical team en route. 8 minutes. He pauses. Quick Flip is about to have a very bad night. Madison committed wire fraud, I say quietly. And identity theft. Yes. To execute a sale, she would have needed to forge corporate documents, sign contracts in your name, wire transfer the proceeds. Multiple federal crimes. I should feel something, fear for my sister, guilt, familial obligation. Instead, I feel nothing but cold curiosity about what happens next. I need to check my voicemail, I say. There's one from Mom, sent at 7:50 p.m. A voice note sent to the family group chat. I press play. Mom's voice fills the cramped SCIF, and I realize immediately she doesn't know she's recording. I blocked Natasha so she can't whine about this. Just sell the warehouse, Madison. She's hoarding that junk while you suffer. Consider it restitution for us raising such a selfish daughter. I sit very still. Something inside me, that desperate, aching need for my parents' approval, simply stops. That voice that always wondered if maybe I could just be better, work harder, and then they'd finally see me, that voice goes silent. They didn't just steal from me. They felt entitled to rob me. They called it restitution for raising me. My mother just admitted to conspiracy to commit wire fraud on a recorded line, I say. Miller and the other agents exchange glances. To clear your name completely, we need Madison's confession on record. A recorded admission would make the case airtight. I understand what he's asking. Part of me knows I should feel conflicted about this. But that Natasha heard, restitution for raising such a selfish daughter. That Natasha is dead. I'll need my attorney on standby, I say calmly. Ethan Vance. While they set up the call with Ethan, I pull up my digital LLC records. Everything proves I'm the sole owner. Everything proves Madison had no authority to sell anything. Make the call, Miller says. I pull up Madison's contact and switch to FaceTime. My finger hovers over the button for just a moment. This is the point of no return. I think about the voicemail. Restitution for raising such a selfish daughter. I press the button. The FaceTime call connects. The contrast is jarring. I'm in a dark, cramped FBI command vehicle in a New York alley. Madison is in a luxury log cabin in Aspen. There's a fire crackling. She's wearing cashmere, her blonde hair perfectly styled. She's celebrating. Natasha. Did you get my text? Pretty amazing, right? I basically just made you $350,000. Usually when my family dismisses me, I get defensive. I stutter. I try to explain. Sometimes I cry. Tonight, I'm ice. Madison, did you physically go to the property before you sold it? She laughs. Why would I? I saw it 6 years ago. Total dump. I did everything online. Found the old LLC paperwork in Mom and Dad's safe, created a corporate resolution authorizing the sale, signed your name, and boom. Easiest $350,000 ever. In the SCAF, Agent Miller's pen moves across his notepad. Madison just admitted to document forgery and identity theft on a federally recorded line. You faked a corporate resolution? It wasn't hard. I used DocuSign and a template I found online. QuickFlip wired the money within minutes. Every word is another nail in her coffin. Madison, that property isn't a dump, I say quietly. It's a black site. It hosts servers for Department of Defense contractors. There are no windows to prevent sniper attacks. QuickFlip identified it as a crypto farm and planned to loot the equipment. They cut the perimeter lock 30 minutes ago. Her smile falters. What are you talking about? Dad appears in the frame behind her, his face flushed. Stop lying, Natasha. You're just jealous. Did Mom tell you she sent a voicemail to the family group chat? The one where she said selling my property was restitution for raising me? Dad's expression darkens. You're always so dramatic. Agent Miller makes a subtle gesture. On the surveillance monitor, I see new movement at the warehouse. The QuickFlip team has breached the inner door. And then the tactical team moves in. Black vehicles, agents in full gear, surrounding the building. Mom appears on screen, squeezing into the frame. Natasha, honey. You have to understand, Madison needed this. You've always been so independent. You don't need that old warehouse. By stealing from me? It's not stealing when it's family, Dad interjects. It's sharing. Mom continues. Besides, we already spent some of the money. We put $50,000 down on a luxury RV. It's non-refundable. If you ruin this deal, you'd be stealing from our retirement. You spent stolen money on an RV deposit, I say carefully. That's receiving stolen property under federal law. Oh, don't start with your legal nonsense, Dad snaps. Actually, Ethan's voice cuts in, she's absolutely correct. This is Ethan Vance, Ms. Hill's attorney. I'm currently on a recorded line with the FBI. You've just admitted to knowingly spending proceeds from a fraudulent transaction. The color drains from Mom's face. Madison is looking at the screen now, really looking, and I can see her starting to piece things together. QuickFlip said it was a private sale, Madison says, panic rising. They played you, Madison, I say, my voice devoid of sympathy. They preyed on your laziness. I turn my phone camera slightly, showing Agent Miller's badge and the FBI seal. I'm not at a party anymore, Madison. I'm in federal custody because your fraudulent sale triggered a terrorism alert on a classified facility. The reaction is immediate. Madison's champagne glass slips from her hand. Dad stands, then sits. Mom's hand flies to her mouth. That's not possible, Madison stammers. You assumed it was worthless because it looked worthless. That was the entire point of the design. Oh God, Madison whispers. Ethan's voice cuts through again. The FBI is currently tracking your location. You've admitted on a recorded federal line to spending money you knew came from property you had no legal right to sell. I strongly advise you to retain separate legal counsel immediately. But they're turning on each other. This is your fault, Dad shouts at Mom. I told you we should have checked with a real lawyer. Don't blame me, Mom shrieks back. You're the one who insisted on the RV. Both of you, shut up, Madison screams. What do I do? Natasha, what do I do? I should feel something. Instead, I just feel empty. I can't help you, Madison, I say quietly. You committed federal crimes. But I didn't know, she wails. You never asked, I reply. You assumed. You saw an opportunity to take something that wasn't yours, and you took it. Behind her, I hear sirens growing closer. What is that sound? Mom asks. That would be the Aspen Sheriff's Department and FBI field agents. They're coming to arrest Madison. Madison's eyes go wide. Natasha, please, we're family. Pounding on the cabin door cuts her off. FBI, open the door. On the surveillance feed, I watch the parallel scene. SWAT teams swarm the warehouse. The QuickFlip crew drops their tools and raises their hands. Both operations happening simultaneously. Both traps springing shut. Madison's screen jerks wildly as agents enter. Madison Hill, you're under arrest for wire fraud, identity theft, and violations of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. The feed shows her being forced down, hands cuffed. Mom is crying. Dad is shouting about lawyers. Then I hear it, no bail will be offered due to flight risk and the sensitive nature of the compromised asset. No bail. Madison will sit in federal custody until trial. The phone feed cuts to black. 6 months have passed since that night. I'm sitting in a corner office on the 42nd floor, reviewing quarterly financials. The building used to belong to QuickFlip Ventures before they went bankrupt. I bought it at foreclosure for 60 cents on the dollar. QuickFlip collapsed under the federal investigation. They'd used fraudulent methods to acquire multiple properties. The company dissolved within 3 months. My phone buzzes. News alert, Madison Hill sentenced to 8 years in federal prison for wire fraud. She took a plea deal, cooperated, showed remorse. The judge still gave her 8 years because her actions compromised national security assets and demonstrated entitled disregard for the law. My parents avoided prison by liquidating their house and repaying QuickFlip in full, plus $75,000 in restitution fines. They're living in a 2-bedroom apartment now. Dad works retail. Mom works part-time at a garden center. They call sometimes. Different numbers, borrowed phones, always the same message, please, Natasha. We're family. Don't you believe in forgiveness? I changed my number after the 3rd call. The door opens. My assistant pokes her head in. Your 8 a.m. is here early. A young woman enters, maybe 23, wearing a slightly too big blazer and clutching a portfolio like a shield. She's nervous. Miss Hill, she says. Thank you for meeting with me. I'm Mari Brooke. I'm the intern who identified a critical security vulnerability in our Newark facility, I finish. Sit down, Mari. Call me Natasha. She sits. I wasn't sure if you'd actually want to meet. I'm just the intern who could have saved us millions, I interrupt. That's not just anything. It was worth a $10,000 bonus, which you'll see in your next paycheck. It was also worth this meeting. I'm offering you a full-time position after graduation. Her eyes widen. I don't know what to say. Say yes or no. But while you're deciding, I want to know something. Do you have family support for this career path? The question catches her off guard. Not really. My parents wanted me to be a doctor or lawyer. They think cybersecurity isn't prestigious enough. They didn't come to my graduation last month. There it is. That familiar ache. Let me tell you something, Mari, I say, leaning forward. The people who are supposed to support you, sometimes they're the last ones to see your value. Sometimes they're so invested in who they think you should be that they can't see who you actually are. She nods slowly. You don't need their validation, I continue. You need your own standards, your own goals. Build something so solid, so legally protected, so strategically positioned that nobody can take it from you. Not family. Not competitors. Not anyone. Is that what you did? She asks quietly. I think about the gray box facility, still operating, now valued at $14 million after I expanded the contracts. I think about this building, bought from the ashes of the company that tried to rob me. Yes, I say. That's exactly what I did. She straightens. Then yes. I accept the position. Good. I extend my hand. Welcome to Hill Industrial Holdings, Mari. I expect great things from you. After she leaves, I turn back to the window. The sun is fully up now, revealing the city in sharp relief. Somewhere out there, my parents are getting ready for their retail shifts. Madison is in a federal facility, counting down 8 years in a 6x8 cell. I should feel triumph. Or guilt. Or something more dramatic than this quiet, settled peace. But I don't need drama anymore. I don't need validation from people who never valued me. I don't need to prove anything to anyone except myself. My phone buzzes. Calendar reminder, 10 a.m., site visit to Gray Box facility for DoD contract renewal. I gather my things and head for the elevator. As I wait, I catch my reflection in the polished steel doors. The woman looking back is 30 years old, successful by any metric that matters, and finally free from the weight of family obligation. The elevator arrives with a soft chime. I step inside, and the doors close on the old version of myself. The one who threw parties to prove she didn't need anyone. The one who answered every call hoping this time would be different. The one who measured her worth by other people's approval. That version of Natasha Hill is gone. This version built empires in the dark and let her enemies destroy themselves in the light. This version knows that the best revenge isn't cruelty, it's success so complete, so undeniable, that the people who underestimated you have no choice but to live with the consequences of their own choices. As the elevator descends, I allow myself the smallest smile. Not because my family suffered, but because I survived them. And surviving, I learned, is just the beginning of becoming someone they could never diminish again.